2 videos in, we've established something important about this group. No More Dream asked, "Do you even have a dream?" And O asked, "Who took it from you?" Both of those songs were pointed outward at a system, at adults, at a society telling young people who to be. Video 3 is a shift. Danger is where BTS turns the lens on something smaller, messier, and honestly more human than a broken education system. A relationship that's falling apart. A person who won't pick up the phone. The frustration of loving someone who makes you feel like you don't exist. That might seem like a change of subject, but here's what I want you to understand before we touch a single lyric. This song was recorded in a garage in Los Angeles during the summer of 2014, while BTS was simultaneously filming a reality show, grabbing sleep wherever they could between schedules, running on sheer will and momentum. And the album it came from? It was the 14th best-selling album in all of South Korea that year, with ongoing sales that pushed it even higher in cumulative charts. From 760 copies on debut week to 14th best-selling album in the country, 12 months apart. That is the story underneath Danger. And the song itself, it goes deeper than a breakup. Way deeper. Let's get into it. Let's set the scene properly because it matters. Summer 2014, BTS gets on a plane to Los Angeles. They're thinking we're going to work on new music. What they don't know is they're also about to be thrown into a reality TV show called, you guessed it, American Hustle Life. Production where they'd spend 2 weeks learning about the hip hop culture from mentors including Coolio and Warren G. The show premiered July 24th, 2014, and ran for 8 episodes. Here's where it gets real. Parts of Dark and Wild were recorded in Korea before they left, but sessions continued in LA, and the makeshift studio in the garage that Bang helped facilitate. We're not talking about a professional setup. They went to Guitar Center, bought equipment themselves, set it up in that garage, and made the album work. Between filming missions with Coolio and Warren G during the day, they were learning choreography, running through lyrics, and recording whenever they could find the time, grabbing sleep whenever it was available between schedules. RM later reflected on this period saying, "We were really in danger at that time." That phrase, in danger, isn't just a reference to the song title. It's an honest description of where they were as a group. Uncertain, exhausted, betting everything on an album made in the garage with gear they bought themselves. And out of that schedule, that pressure, that commitment came Dark and Wild, released August 20th, 2014. 14 tracks, written and produced by RM, Suga, J-Hope, P-Dog, Bang, and others. A complete sonic evolution from everything they've done before. Here's what makes Dark and Wild significant beyond just the songs. The School trilogy, No More Dream, N.O., Boy in Love, was pointed outward at a system. Dark and Wild was the pivot. It's the album where BTS started turning inward. Same honesty, different target. Instead of asking, what's society doing to us? They started asking, what are we doing to each other? What are we doing to ourselves? That pivot is the direct path to everything that came later. The HYYH series, Wings, Map of the Soul, The Personal Pain and I Need You, the self-exclamation in Black Swan. None of it exists without Danger going first. You cannot get there without coming through here. The album title itself is doing the work. Dark and Wild. 2 words, 2 forces, both inside the same person. Dark, the emotional weight, the frustration, the hurt, the part of love that feels like drowning. Wild, the energy, the youth, the impatience, the part of love that feels like electricity. The album's tagline was destructive romance, and they meant it. This isn't soft heartbreak. This is the chaos of young emotions at full volume: obsession, jealousy, confusion, need. The kind of feelings nobody teaches you how to handle because adults pretend that they don't have them anymore. Danger was written by RM, Suga, J Hope, P Dog, and Bang. Choreography by Sun Saduk. Music video directed by Lumpins and GDW. It was released the day before the album, August 19th, 2014, on One The K's YouTube channel. The music video was filmed in a clothes factory in Paju, South Korea, dressed to look like a deserted subway station with Spanish language signage throughout. And it opens with something almost nobody talks about: JK sitting at a piano playing the outro of their previous EP, School Love Affair, a song called Propose. That detail was not decoration. Dark and Wild is officially the end of the school trilogy and the beginning of something new. By opening with the final note of the previous chapter, the music video is making that transition visible. The last thing from the old era bleeding into the first moment of the new one. A breath between two different versions of who they were. The first thing you hear in Danger isn't a verse. It's a warning, repeated 4 times. You are in danger. You are in danger. You are in danger. You are in danger. And then RM steps in. Stop right there. You equals you. I equals I. That's your formula. That is not a line about a bad relationship. That is a line about fundamental disconnection. About two people who are technically together, but operating in completely separate worlds. No overlap, no intersection, just parallel existence. And then RM does something that only a writer thinks to do. He uses a math symbol on a track, the equal sign. You equal you, I equal I, as if the relationship has been reduced to an equation with no solution. Then the homework metaphor, pushing off feelings feeling like homework. That is the most accurate description of emotional avoidance most people have ever heard in a song. We all know someone who does this. Most of us have done this. The feelings are there, but addressing them keeps getting pushed to later, 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 until later becomes never. And then the gut punch. Are we a business transaction? He's not asking rhetorically. He genuinely doesn't know anymore. The relationship has become so transactional, so devoid of warmth and spontaneity that it functions like a professional obligation. Show up, perform the minimum, leave. That's what love has been reduced to. The production underneath all of this is doing its own work. The guitar is grungy and aggressive, not the polished pop production you'd expect from a K-pop group in 2014. It sounds like frustration with a pick. The beat is hard and urgent. The sound is matching the emotional state exactly. JK is only 16 when he records this. Pause on that. 16. Born September 1st, 1997, and he is delivering one of the most precise observations about emotional asymmetry in a relationship that you will ever hear in a pop song. Parallel lines. They look at the same place, but they never meet. That geometric image is doing something NO and No More Dream never needed to do. It's capturing a specific loneliness of being in a relationship, but feeling completely alone inside it. Two people moving in the same direction, never touching. And then, I have no one but you. So why does it feel like I'm always outside of you? That is a central wound of the whole song delivered in one line: the imbalance. One person all in, one person emotionally unavailable. The person who was all in ends up feeling like a stranger at the door of their own relationship. The final line of the verse. When I go quiet, you ask, are you sulking? But have you ever actually done anything to make me so? That line is every person who has ever been in a one-sided relationship losing their patience. You notice when I'm quiet, but you don't notice what made me quiet. You ask about the symptom, but never looked for the cause. JK, 16, in the garage in LA. That's what he puts on tape. J Hope builds his verse around a detective metaphor. He's not just confused, he's actively searching, investigating, looking for evidence of the person he fell for inside someone who has gone cold. I'm searching for how to unlock you. In Korean, the word used carries the same weight as a password, a code. She has become inaccessible, encrypted. He is trying every combination just to get back who she was. Then the question that anchors the whole verse, is this the relationship I dreamed of? That line connects directly back to the previous two videos. We spent two videos talking about dreams, having them, fighting for them, refusing to let the system take them. And here, in a relationship, that same question surfaces. Is this what I wanted? Is this what I imagined? Because if it is, the dream was wrong. And if it isn't, what happened to the version that I believed in? J Hope's delivery here is kinetic, restless. He sounds like someone pacing, which makes sense. This is a person who cannot sit still inside their own frustration. Suga ends his verse off with four words that hit like a closed door. I'm a love loser. This is the member who opened up the series with exhaustion about a broken system, who named himself as always afraid of his first death as an artist. And here he is on the same album, quietly admitting defeat in something much more personal than society. A relationship that took everything he had before it even got started. You used up my heart before the fire even started. That might be the most devastating line on the entire album. It's not saying that the relationship is burnt out. It's saying it never got the chance. Because by time anything began, he was already empty, already spent. The giving happened in the lead up, in the hoping, in the anticipation, and none of it was returned. Then, to you, I'm just a mailbox. I'm not even a lover anymore. He's been reduced to infrastructure, something you use to receive things, not a person, a function. Sugar's delivery is low, controlled, almost resigned. Where RM sounded frustrated, J Hope sounded restless. Sugar sounds like someone who's already done the math and arrived at the answer, and the answer is loss. The vocal line carries the chorus, and it's worth stopping to appreciate what each member is doing here. Jen's line, you don't have me, but I'm filled with you, is the clearest summary of the whole song's emotional imbalance in a single sentence. One person consuming the other, one person absent. The math is brutal. Jimin's warning, I'm warning you now. He's not leaving yet. He's not done. But he's naming the moment things are about to change. This is the last reasonable request before something breaks. In JK's section, closing it out, what exactly am I to you? Am I easy to you? Are you playing games with me? Remember, he's only 16. Delivering these three questions that every person who has ever been undervalued in a relationship has screamed internally but never said out loud. The vocal line and rap line are not doing the same thing in this song. The rap lines diagnose. The vocal line bleeds. Together, they make the full picture of what this kind of relationship actually costs. The music video is set in what appears to be an abandoned subway station, but it was actually a closed factory in Paeju, South Korea, dressed with Spanish language signs and graffiti to create an atmosphere of somewhere in between. Not home, not anywhere specific. A liminal space. That's intentional. A relationship in crisis exists in a liminal space between together and apart, between staying and leaving, between the person you fell for and the person standing in front of you you know now. The choreography in Danger became immediately iconic for two moves in particular. The neck grab and the shoulder roll sequence, both of them communicated control, one person's grip on another, power shifting back and forth. The choreography doesn't just accompany the lyrics, it embodies them. Every sharp movement is the frustration finding a physical form. The burning shopping carts in the warehouse scene are worth noting too. Shopping carts, mundane, domestic, the architecture of ordinary life, on fire. That's the relationship. Something that was supposed to be normal and functioning, now burning. Nobody put it out. Nobody could. In the color palette of the music video, black clothes, industrial spaces, harsh light, is a complete visual departure from the yellow school bus and bright rebellion energy of No More Dream. The world has gotten darker. The feelings have gotten more complicated. The aesthetic is following the emotional arc of the series. Here's what this song proves and why it belongs in the series. BTS did not just have social commentary, they had emotional range. And what Danger shows is that the same precision that they brought to writing about a broken education system, the same craft, the same specificity, the same willingness to name the real thing instead of a sanitized version of it, they brought to writing about a broken relationship. The math symbols in RM's verse, the parallel lines in Jungkook's, the mailbox metaphor in Suga's, the burning shopping carts in the music video. None of that is on accident. All of it is writers who take their work seriously enough to find the exact image for the exact feeling. And here's what that emotional honesty set up directly. The same group that turned inward here, that asks what happens when you love someone and they treat you like infrastructure, would take that same inward gaze into HYYH era, into I Need You, into Run, into songs about young people destroying themselves quietly in private in a way nobody sees. Danger is the doorway. The next series walks all the way through it. Here's the through line that connects every video in this series, and it gets one line longer today. No More Dream asks, do you even have a dream? And O asked, who took it from you? Danger asks, what happens when you pour everything into someone and they treat you like a mailbox? Black Swan would eventually ask, what happened when you pour everything into your art and it stops feeling like anything at all? The same group that asked, what's your dream? Is now asking, what happens when that dream or that person lets you down? The question is about the cost of total commitment, about what happens when you give everything to something, a dream, a cause, a person, a craft, and the return doesn't match. That thread runs from 2013 all the way to 2020. Made in the garage with gear from Guitar Center between takes of a reality show that they didn't even know that they were going to film until they landed. Drop in the comments which verse hit the hardest for you. RM's math equation, Suga's I'm a love loser, or JK's parallel lines at only 16 years old. Tag someone who needs to hear that last one especially. Next video, we're going into the HYYH era. I Need You. The first time BTS put real darkness on the screen. 7 separate storylines, 7 different kinds of pain, and the music video that almost didn't get approved. Like, comment, subscribe, and also go ahead and hit that hype button. We are the Rotten Rose family. I appreciate every single one of you guys. Thank you for watching. It's your boy RottenRoseQ, and I'm out of here.